Hey guys, hi, it's Yesi, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. Today, I thought that I would do a little reading for you guys, and I think that, well, I actually was sent this book over to me a few months ago. The author had reached out to me and sent over this sample for me to kind of read and promote it on TikTok, but I thought that I would come on here and just read it to some of you guys, and I think it's a good book, and I hope it can help at least some of you, or even one of you guys, if you struggle with anxiety, overthinking, because that's really what this book is about. Why your thinking is the beginning and the end of suffering. Now, the author is Joseph Nayun. Joseph Nayun. I really hope I'm pronouncing it right, because I am terrible with names, so if I am not, I apologize about that. Now, when the author reached out to me, I was really excited for this book because I am somebody who has suffered very much at a very early age from anxiety and really overthinking. I really could remember it starting from like my first that I have definitely overcome some of those obstacles and those challenges in my life, and whether you do or don't suffer from either or of these, anxiety, even depression or overthinking, I just think this book might be helpful to some of you, I hope. So let's get into it. I think I'm just going to read a chapter. Really depends on my phone storage, but we shall see. So the book is called Don't Believe Everything. Everything you think. Don't believe everything you think. Why your thinking is the beginning and the end of suffering. I'm gonna use this little broken comb handle thing because I like the shape of it. It says, "Forkenna, an angel on earth who taught me what unconditional love truly is and how it can change the world." So here we have the table of contents. We're gonna go through the introduction, what you will discover in this book, and how to get the most out of reading it. And we are going to be reading chapter 1, The Journey of Discovering the Root Cause of Suffering. Okay. What you will discover in this book and how to get the most out of reading it. This book was written to help you find everything you've been searching for and the answers to all the questions you've had your entire life. I understand that this is a bold statement, but you will shortly see why I have complete confidence in saying this. What I know to be the truth from the depths of my soul is that you will not be the same person you were after reading this book. The only constant is change. Growth is an inevitable process of life, and it will be impossible for you not to change after reading this book. We cannot change what we are not aware of, and once we are aware, we cannot help but change. Sheryl Sandberg. No matter who you are, where you're from, what your background unconditional love, complete fulfillment, and an abundance of joy in your life. I promise you are not the exception, even though it may seem like it. Love knows no boundaries. An open mind and a willing heart are all you need to receive every answer you've been looking for. And yes, there are extremely practical implications and byproducts of understanding what is inside of this book, which many of my coaching clients have experienced, such as a 2 by 5 time increase in income, exponential growth in their businesses, deeper and more harmonious relationships, overcoming lifelong addictions, the spontaneous disappearance of destructive habits, an increase in health, vitality, and overall energy. Miracles like these occur daily for many who understand the principles within this book, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. If I were to list some of the improvements and results people have gotten from this understanding, more than half of this book would be stories of such daily miracles. I am reluctant to mention any of these external results because it is not the point of this book. These physical manifestations are the byproduct of this inside-out understanding of how our experiences of life work. And actually, we only want external results like money and significance because we want to experience certain feelings inside, such as love, joy, peace, and fulfillment. The feeling is really what we want in our lives, not the physical things, but the trap is that we believe the physical things will give us those feelings. The secret lies within the feeling. This book will help guide you to uncover the truth you already know within and discover these feelings you've been looking for your entire life. Don't read this book for information, read it for insight. Insight or wisdom can only be found within. That is why it is called insight. Inside. To find everything you're looking for in life, you must look inside yourself and discover the wisdom that already exists within you. All the answers lie deep within your soul. This book is merely a guide to help you look in the right place. I truly admire anyone who still has the hope that what they're looking for is still out there. This means you have hope. Without hope, we have nothing. So the fact that you're here reading this now is a testament to your faith, courage, and strength. I know with 100% certainty that you will find what you're looking for if you continue down the path you're on with the hope that you have in your heart. I want to make it clear that this book is not the only book that contains truth. The truth lies within everyone and in everything. You must look beyond the form, the physical, to see and experience the truth, the spiritual. The words in this book are not truth, they point to the truth. Look beyond words to see the truth for yourself. Truth cannot be intellectualized, it can only be experienced. The truth lies within a feeling, which is why it cannot be formulated into a word. If you want to find truth, look beyond the words and look for a feeling. Many who discover the truth describe the feeling as complete peace, unconditional love, and overwhelming joy. People also describe it as the most familiar, unfamiliar feeling. It feels like you're finally home, looking for that feeling, and everything will be revealed to you. In this book, I will not say anything you don't already know deep inside your soul. This is why it will be familiar, unfamiliar feeling when you experience the truth. Don't try to use your intellect to figure it out. You won't. As soon as you intellectualize it, you've missed it. The truth does not come from memorizing a sentence or two. A child can do that, but they will not understand the truth. The truth comes in the form of a feeling. From that feeling will come the wisdom and the truth you seek, which will set you free. That's what we're all ultimately seeking, isn't it? What I will unveil to you in this book will seem simple. It will seem almost too simple, and your brain, ego, will try to fight it or attempt to make it more complex. It will think that it cannot be this simple. When the time comes, I want you to remember that the truth is always simple. What is complex can always be broken down into smaller compartments. The truth cannot be broken down into smaller constituents, which is what makes it truth. This is why truth is always simple. If you want to find the truth, look for simplicity. Approach this book with an open mind and a heart of pure intention to know the truth, and you will receive everything you've been looking for. Before we move on, I want to express my deepest gratitude for you being here and sharing your time and attention with me. Those are some of the most vulnerable life forces you could give to another. So thank you for the gift to me, which you are also giving to yourself. Never forget your own divinity, because it is only through our divinity that we have our humanity. With love and light, Joseph. Chapter 1. The Journey to Discovering the Root Cause of Suffering. People have a hard time letting go of their suffering. Out of fear of the unknown, they prefer suffering that is familiar. Thich Nhat Hanh. There is an important distinction to make when speaking about suffering. When I mention suffering in this book, I'm referring to psychological and emotional suffering. There is a way in which, no matter what happens in your life, you do not have to suffer emotionally and psychologically. I am not saying what we go through is all in our heads or made up. Terrible and unfortunate events happen to people every single day. I'm saying that although we experience a lot of pain in our lives, suffering is optional. In other words, pain is unavoidable, but how we react to the events and circumstances that happen in our lives is up to us, and that will dictate whether we suffer or not. Buddhists say that two arrows fly our way whenever we experience be struck by an arrow is painful. Being struck by a second emotional arrow is even more painful. Suffering. The Buddha explained, in life we can always control the first arrow. However, the second arrow is our reaction to the first. The second arrow is optional. When I first heard of this quote from Buddha a few years back, I was confounded because although I understood what he meant, I didn't know how I could apply this in my own life. If anyone were given the clear choice of suffering and not suffering, I don't think anyone in their right mind would choose to suffer. How can I choose not to suffer? If it were as easy as that, I don't think anyone would suffer anymore. It wasn't until years later that I came across a new understanding of where suffering comes from that I could stop it at its source. As I began my journey of self-improvement, I came across many different teachings, studies, and methods to help people overcome their problems. I read dozens, if not hundreds of books, studied psychology, went to therapists, listened to many different thought leaders, tried changing my habits, waking up at 4 a.m., changing my diet, becoming more structured and disciplined, shadow work, studying personality types, meditating daily, going on spiritual retreats, following spiritual masters, and researching different ancient religions. If you name it, I've probably tried it. I was desperate to find an answer because I wanted to know how to stop suffering in my own life and help others do the same. Although some of these things did help me improve incrementally, it did not stop my suffering. I still always felt highly anxious, fearful, unfulfilled, irritated, angry, and frustrated every day. Even after doing all of that, I still didn't discover the answer. And if I'm being honest, I was even more lost than before I started on this quest. I felt purposeless, hopeless, and directionless. I didn't know what to do anymore, where to look, or who to talk to. It wasn't until I was in the darkest hour that a glimmer of hope began to lead me to the light. All of a sudden, after years and years of searching, I stumbled upon one of the first mentors who revealed the answer to how I could alleviate my suffering. The answer I discovered was in the understanding how our minds work and how the human experience